Drew Creal here with Fusion Friday, and today I've got my friend Logan Hatcher, bass player, here with me, and I just wanted to introduce him to everybody who's watching and listening. And so, Logan, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you, and where are you from?
I'm 26, originally from Spokane, Washington. Moved to Nashville about 18 months ago, right after I got out of the service, and so I've just been doing the music thing since I got here.
Cool, man.
Pretty much all there is to it.
Right on. So you were in the military, right?
Yep.
Tell me about that. Like, how did you get? Like, why did you go into the military? How long were you in that for, and what was that like?
It was the best and worst experience of your life. Anybody in the military will tell you that. I was in there 6 years, Marine Corps. It was an awesome time. Didn't really do a whole lot as far as going overseas. Never went to Iraq, Afghanistan, anything like that. But really, I joined just because there was a lot happening in the world, and I had a lot of other vets talk about when they first went overseas, and there'd be families that you would never see them leave their house, but then towards the end of their deployment, you'd see kids in the backyard playing soccer, and because they weren't scared to get killed anymore.
Yeah.
So that was kind of something I wanted to be a part of.
So where were you deployed at?
I went over to Southeast Asia, Japan for a little while. Nothing really exciting. Japan was an awesome country though, like just beautiful country, nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Awesome place.
Japan sounds cool. That's awesome, man. So what brought you to Nashville? Like, and what are you doing here in Nashville?
So Dad was born and raised here. He was a military guy too. So he got stationed up in Washington where I was born. Met Mom, never left. But I still got family here. Plus San Diego was way too expensive. Didn't feel like staying there. LA had an awesome music scene, but it's really easier to make a living in Nashville doing it because there's a place you can play all sorts of music and get paid to do it just at bars, like playing down on Broadway, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just more feasible here.
Yeah, rent is currently somewhat affordable, but
right now,
that's certainly going up. You might be coming out of the frame a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Just scoot over and definitely look at the camera. What's up? But yeah, so like I first moved to Nashville in 2012, and I think the first place I rented, I paid $350 for a room. And of course, like I was in my early 20s, and I was living in just like a house, I think with 4 other people. Like there was like 2 girls that lived downstairs, and then a dude that lived upstairs, and then another dude that lived on the same level as me. And like Nashville was pretty different back then in terms of like now it's like this super desirable city. And so for artists and musicians, I'm just like flat out going to say like it's hard like now.
It is.
It's never been harder because like just rent goes up constantly, and especially for people like you and me who don't play necessarily like we're not like
we're not playing the country hits.
Yeah. It's not like personally for me, like as you can probably tell by watching Fusion Friday, like my goal isn't to be like the next country guitar star.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't even necessarily enjoy playing cover music. So basically, I'm pretty much screwed.
Well, I think things are changing in that way here, especially like the things that you and I have seen just over the last year, where you got all these musicians coming out of Nashville who. Yeah, they play a lot of country to make money, but they have chops. I mean, look at the guys that Tony's been pulling out of here. Look at Nathan, look at Emil, TJ, all these guys coming out of Nashville who are doing great. They're playing heavy music, they're playing prog, they're playing fusion. So it's happening and it's coming here.
Yeah. I definitely tend to get, pretty dark about how I view things, man. But I'm glad you said that because, what you're talking about are all of these cover shows that are going on, right? So you and I just played new metal night, and so it's like Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, like all the shit that I listened to when I was a kid.
It was awesome.
And
great time.
I'll probably toss up a picture, but I wore this like white jumpsuit, and I played like this white Ibanez guitar and put some like welding goggles on, and like it was just fun, man.
Straight out of a 9 Inch Nails video.
Yeah, people turn up for that stuff, and like unfortunately, like if you're doing your own music, there's a lot less likelihood for people to turn out to your show. But what's cool about like you mentioned Tony McAlpine, like Tony McAlpine has been playing here a lot more and has been touring, and there's local progressive metal and fusion and progressive like minded musicians that are opening for people like Tony McAlpine and some of the other bands that come through here. But why don't you tell everybody what you're working on right now with like Neil Peart died recently, and you put together a Rush tribute show. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
So that was kind of it was a big jump that I almost didn't do because I didn't want to be seen as somebody who was trying to not monopolize, but make anything off someone's death. And Neil was just a huge influence to so many musicians here. I remember shedding all of 2112 when I was like 12 years old, just picking up a bass. I was like, I gotta learn all this because
you were 12.
Well, I had to learn it, man. It was
passage.
It just blew my mind the first time I heard Getty and all them play, and I never turned back. And so it got to the point where I just didn't want to be stuck in a room feeling sorry for myself along with everybody else. I was like, let's make an opportunity out of this and generate some money. So I started shooting out emails to people saying this is what I want to do, and putting a big show together at the Mercy Lounge on the 23rd.
February.
23rd of February. And it's going to be 4 hours of just Rush tunes. And started shooting emails, like a buddy of mine, Josh Paul from Daughtry. He was like, yep, I'm down. Got a hold of great bass player. Joe Calderoni from Arch Echo. He's coming and playing some songs. Tim Storace from Why Not, which is like the closest you can get to Rush ever.
Dang.
He's flying out from Florida to come play.
Oh, man. So he has a Rush cover band?
They're not a cover band, but they're like... Rush is their sound.
Yeah. Okay.
They're a four-piece because the female vocalist, which is, there's very few guys
perfect for Getty's range.
Getty, but no, it's the outpouring for it has been awesome. So if you're seeing this now before the 23rd, come out, support it. Yeah. All the profits are going to the American Cancer Society. It's gonna be kick-ass. So that's been consuming my life for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but
and it probably will until the show.
It will, yeah, for sure.
No, it's really cool. I'll be playing a couple tunes there, and it's basically like all Nashville musicians, guitarists, bassists, drummers, keyboardists, vocalists that are in the music scene that are basically like clawing tooth and nail to try to like make something of themselves in the music industry. Yep. All of those folks sign up to play these shows. And it's a great time. And if you're a fan of Rush, you should definitely come out. For me, like I've been listening to Rush not since I was 12, but probably a little bit later. It's like age 16. I was really into Dream Theater and Planet X, Symphony X. Any band with an X in it, I liked. Like King's X. King's X was probably my favorite, and I love trios. So. When I was a kid, I had my own progressive metal band called Present Darkness, and our bass player was like a Rush freak.
Yeah.
And his name's Stefan Zarakis, and he got me into Rush. And I just, what I love about that band is that they kind of paved the way for people like myself, and they did what was on they played the music that was on their heart to play, and they weren't manipulated or. Like I can't think of a single like Rush album where it was like probably the producer made them do this or something like that. I'm not saying that didn't happen on Rush albums, but those dudes pretty much did whatever they wanted, and they did what was on their heart to play, and that's what they wrote music like that. So that meant a lot to me as a young musician, like that. It's like, okay, there's hope for people like me who don't that don't want to play pop music or something, or don't want to listen to just mainstream radio music, even though mainstream radio was pretty dope when I was a kid, at least.
I think there's a lot coming out now that I still love, but you're absolutely right. Like, they paved the way and just said that success to them was a byproduct. Like, they were going to play that music regardless, and luckily enough, they had such a huge following and impacted a whole lot of people.
Yeah. Dude, and I think that's a really important thing that you just said, like, and I've had to come to terms with that, like, within myself, trying to play country music and honestly, like, trying to be dishonest about, like, I think there's a lot of dishonesty that happens, and, like, to the point where, like, I was playing guitars that I thought I should play. Like I should play a Fender Strat or I should play a Telecaster because that's the sound. You gotta have a Telecaster to play guitar in Nashville, you know? And like, I basically convinced myself that I had to do all these things in order to make it. And I'm sorry if you feel that way, if you feel like you gotta play a certain Telecaster with a certain amp and play a certain style, but like I just wasn't willing to do that, you know? And after a while I was just like, I gotta play the music that is on my heart to play. And you know, right now there's like 50 people or maybe 100 people watching Fusion Friday every week, but like I'm gonna keep doing it no matter what. You know, and I think there's a level of amazing level of honesty that happens when you do that. Like you're just like, I'm gonna do this no matter what, even if like if no one ever acknowledges my skills or no one ever acknowledges my abilities, I'm gonna keep making music, you know. And it's a difficult thing to come to terms with, especially when you're like me. I'm in my 30s now, and it's like financially it's tough, man. It is. You know? It
sucks.
And, it's very hard. Anyway, cheers to all the musicians out there hustling and grinding and just trying to make music.
Keep grinding.
Their thing. Yeah, keep going. But tell me about the band that you're playing with now.
So I'm playing in two original bands. I got one band, Beyond Here, and we're getting ready to put out first single March 11th. Currently wrapping up in the studio this weekend.
Wow.
And that's kind of more of like an alternative rock thing. Really love that band. I mean, I'm just a huge music fan in general. There's not much I don't like.
Yeah, they're just like a straight ahead rock band kind of a thing, or?
Well, I mean, we're pretty rock, but we have a whole lot of elements. I mean, mainly because like, obviously my background, that it definitely bleeds into it, and so I love it because it's super radio friendly, but there's also complexities in there that musicians are going to hear and be like, oh, I see what you did there. Cool. Love that band.
Dig that.
Playing with another band right now that I don't think we can say the name of because we're in the process of rebranding due to some legal reasons. So,
gotcha.
But it's heavy prog. It's got tons of jazz influence. I mean, if you can think kind of like Ambulance Leaders meets Covet.
Okay.
It's
cool, man.
It's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
they just opened up for Tony McAlpine last week at High Watt. Did not play that show because I just came on board. The music's hard as hell. So I'm learning that, and we're getting ready to do some runs in April.
Cool, man. That's awesome. Well, yeah, look out for that band. Follow Logan. How can people follow what you're doing? Like, what's the best way to?
You can find me on Facebook, Logan Hatcher, or you can find me on Instagram at Logan Hatcher Bass. That's where I put in 90% of everything.
Cool.
Yeah, reach out to me if you want me to do some stuff on your albums. Just get together and jam, network for other people who are in Nashville. Speaking of that, the Nashville Progressive Fusion Network. If you're somebody who's in that kind of music, find that on Facebook. That's where all of us are into this kind of music and performing and putting shows together. It's a great social network for that.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll put the links to all of Logan's stuff below in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been great talking about music, and I'm hoping to do more of this on my channel, just interviewing different musicians that I know, and hopefully other guys too, other guys and gals.
Oh, yeah.
So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.
Take care.